Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Mr. Berger. I really enjoyed those two games he played and had those, I like to call them rewards, not giveaways, because rewards are for efforts. Giveaways have a negative connotation. And he did say something old, like there's an old saying. He said, if you think that's how Parson got his goal, you know, and those old expressions are the old expressions of my mom. She's actually sitting here in the audience. She used to tell me that when we were growing up, you know, if you think that's how Porter got his goal. Not quite sure who Porter is, but somehow it meant that you had to work hard for whatever you wanted. And that holds true today. And I think those are very good, wise words, even to start off these proceedings, even in fun. So that's very important. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, the management and staff of the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, I welcome all to this Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation public forum and fair. I welcome as well those listening in through our outside broadcast. We're bringing the forum to you under the theme, Empowering Today's Financial Consumers for the Future. Our partners in this forum are the Bank of Jamaica, that's our central bank, the Financial Services Commission, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the Consumer Affairs Commission, and the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce. Montego Bay is one of Jamaica's two cities. In the past, we used to say that Montego Bay was a second city, but I think that's a bit of an insult at this stage of Montego Bay's life. So it's just one of Jamaica's two cities. And so it was very important for us to bring this forum and financial fair here. And at this point, I'd like to welcome Councillor Mr. Leroy Williams, who's the Deputy Mayor of Montego Bay. And we're so glad he's here because he does represent Montego Bay, and he represents all, I think, the expectations of Montego Bay and its success. So we're very happy to have Councillor Leroy Williams here. We're just having a little quick chat about youth and employment, and just that quick chat, I'm well aware that he knows that that's very important for this city. I'd also like to welcome Mr. Winston Lawson. He's the president of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm just going to say I'm very happy that the Chamber of Commerce has partnered with us on this, because financial matters, financial literacy, financial inclusion it's the underpinning of commerce. So we are happy that the Chamber has partnered with us in this effort. I'd also like to welcome our Deputy Superintendent, Fiona Watson, and our Inspector of Police, Mr. Stanley Gordon. We know that these persons are very important to our society, and I am happy that they're here and participating in this and showing the people of Montego Bay that they care about these matters also, not just about, well, is there crime, but they care about, are the people of Montego Bay being educated from a perspective of financial matters, financial literacy. Because they know and they're aware that that's how education and awareness is what will underlie the opportunities that young people have. So it's more than just that they were invited here. These invitations and these attendances by these persons who have welcomed are quite symbolic. So thank you all for being here. I thank all the booth holders who have come out, the financial institutions in particular, because for them, it's not just about the profit making, it's about also educating persons. I thank the BOJ, the Bank of Jamaica, the Financial Services Commission, and the Stock Exchange, because these institutions are part of the framework for financial protections in the financial system, financial literacy, and financial inclusion. So I just wanted to really give those thanks before I sort of got into my opening. So this is JDIC's 20th year of operations. So we haven't actually reached 21 as yet. We're still in the 20th year of operations. 20 years of protection deposits within our banks and our building societies. JDIC protects customer deposits in commercial banks, merchant banks, and building societies. And these are regulated by the Bank of Jamaica. So JDIC has 20 years of guaranteeing deposits in your banks in the event that they had failed. But no banks have failed in the last 20 years, and we're very happy for that. But we know this can happen, and so this scheme, this deposit insurance scheme, has been set up and continues to ensure that deposits are protected. Over the years, JDIC has used the public forum like this as one of the tools for keeping the public educated and informed about how their deposits are protected. And you will hear how the deposits are protected and the extent of that protection, how much protection. And you'll also hear and find out that protection is very strong. And the expectation is that people will remain confident in our banking system, confident that their financial resources are protected when they save and deposit this in our banking system. International studies and experiences have proved that financial education is the key to good financial decision making for personal financial decision making and business decision making. And that this is why we will continue to put on these forums and other financial literacy and financial inclusion initiatives. And I'm telling you that on your program, you're going to hear from speakers, the experts who are involved in financial literacy and financial inclusion in Jamaica. On the way here in the bus, my team, we were sitting beside a young man, and he was coming from Kingston, and he had just formed his company. And he was so proud of that. And I mean, I reckon him to be about 25 or 26 years old. And they asked him what it was that they were going to do. And he said he and his sister were going to establish a natural products company, natural products for hair and skin. And I thought, and when I looked at the happiness on his face when he showed me the certificate of incorporation and all the plans he has, and we talked a little bit about it. So we invited him here today, but just in case he couldn't make it, I remember I gave him my the token bags and an umbrella that we have here for distribution, so that he would remember the protections that the financial system offers. But it was really heartwarming for me to just see this little youngster coming back from town with his certificate of incorporation for his company. He needs financial literacy, and I'm sure he is well aware of some financial matters, and hence why he has started his company in the first place. So opportunities for young people abound. It's just that you need knowledge and you need information. That knowledge is power, and that knowledge is possibly more powerful even than the money, even than the prizes you won here today. And that knowledge is what will allow you to be able to make good decisions in relation to not just your personal life, but in business opportunities as well. Now, 20 years, so we're 20 years in providing these protections to the banking system. And a lot has changed in that 20 years for banking services and financial services generally. And there are more changes on the way. as the technology evolves. We can now carry out our banking activities and transfer money and pay our bills on our mobile phones. We can purchase goods and services with debit and credit cards and other stored value cards. We do not have to pass cash. This is how it will become more and more. In the future, merchants will not require cash from you, but cards with stored value. And as well, all they will need is your phone, and your phone will be the swipe card on the stored value means. So we have come a long way, and the financial literacy becomes more and more important. And just let me turn this page. We can do our basic banking business now in kiosks, supermarkets, and other banking agents. So you don't even have to actually go into a bank. There's another aspect of change that is taking place and has taken place. How and where we borrow from is changing as well. The sources from which we can borrow for personal use and investing in business projects are widening for us, and we're adopting methods that have become more common worldwide. The microcredit bill is hopefully shortly to be passed into law, and it will ensure that legitimate channels for borrowing are widened and made available to more consumers, while at the same time remaining fair and safe for consumers to use. Your financial literacy is very important. Laws such as the Security Interest in Personal Property Act have already been put in place to allow different types of collateral that a person can use to be able to borrow money. So you're not just limited now to having to have a piece of land for collateral, nor a motor vehicle for collateral. There are a number of other items of personal property you can use, including farm animals, agricultural produce, can be used to secure credit from financial institutions. Those are huge opportunities, and therefore financial literacy is important. Our stock market has experienced growth, and that our stock exchange has been ranked among the best performing in the world. The government wants to expand that access to all, with opportunities for investments in Jamaican infrastructure projects that would be available only to those who would ordinarily have access to our stock markets and to large investment products. That's changing. The government wants us, the smaller persons, to be able to make investments in large infrastructure projects. That means financial literacy is important. I apologize for these long changes of paper. Technological changes are worldwide, with potential benefits that allow the inclusion of far more persons in the formal economy and who ordinarily would not have access to the benefit of financial services. Therefore, our economy should embrace as many of these new options as possible. That economy is us, you, all the persons here, all the person walking on the streets in Montego Bay. Therefore, these opportunities allow for the competitive forces also to keep costs of borrowing down. You know, the more people who do it, the lower the cost of it becomes. So we all need to participate in this formal financial system that is changing and expanding and widening and allowing ordinary people to be able to access credits, to be able to know that their deposits are safe. In this 20th year of the evolution, we see JDIC's mandate ultimately facilitating the inclusion of the widest breadth of our population in the formal financial system and having the protection that you require to confidently save and carry out all your financial transactions without fear of the loss of your monies. JDIC partners in this forum, therefore, with as many of the agencies that also impact this mandate, because the objective of JDIC of JDIC are only part of a whole slate of governmental activities that underpin the objectives of financial inclusion and the protection of the financial system. Welcome partners and presenters, booth holders, including our banks or building societies, and those other institutions I've mentioned. And most of all, welcome to the people of Montego Bay. Thank you.